Good evening everyone and welcome back to RTG TV for the fourth round of the season here in Austria at the Spielberg circuit, or the Red Bull Ring that it's now called. This track has 10 corners, 3 DRS zones, it's 4.318 kilometres and 2.68 miles. It was first around here in 1970 and we're going to be running obviously the normal 3 compounds, the C5 soft, C4 medium and C3 hard tyre for this evening. We'll get into the standings as you can see on your screen at the moment. And we'll get Lee in as well as we have him back. We're back as a duo again. It's been a few weeks. We've been missing each other, Lee, on the Thursday. We're back with Austria for the second time in the space of a week, obviously between 2 different leagues. Looking at these standings, though, Lee, those top 3 look so close at the moment. 57 points, 55 and 55 points for those top 3. Tiny, Ginge and Strikes, respectively. Sticky Panda down in 4th after missing last week's race on 43 points, but they're only 41 points and only 2 points behind is Super Striker in 5th. Again, GP2 League being very close at the top end at the moment. You with us, Lee? Oh,
yeah, I'm here.
Yeah,
with you right now.
Go. Yeah. So
I was having a look at the standings, and they're the top 3 especially close, and then 4th, 5th, and 6th still 2 points between them. So yeah, it's really close between these guys. Have been giving each other as good as they're getting, it seems anyway.
Yeah, and 79 points for the RB team, picking up some very good points at the moment, and 67 points for the Kick Sauber team, or Stake F1 as it's called on the standings. McLaren are on 62 as well in 3rd, so still pretty close between them. Obviously not even halfway through the season yet. And just to note as well, in the bottom left corner, your reserves are Ashwin, Mopa, Matthew and that guy Sean. We'll get into the session now, and we're already in obviously the intermediate championship stage. For anyone who doesn't know, and that always happens every time I keep forgetting to do it, I'm going to have to give myself a good talking to. The Intermediate Championship, Lee, obviously, it's just a thing that me and you really made up. But we're looking at the first 8 minutes of Q1, seeing the drivers go out on the intermediate, the wet compound tyre, to set as fast a lap as they possibly can, without, of course, putting it into the wall as well. And we've got 4 drivers on that intermediate lap at the moment. Tiny, I think, is the first one. Is he? I think he is, and then he's got Super Striker behind him, Lee. Tiny on the lap at the moment, but that's the rules for the Intermediate Championship. You have to start before the 10-minute timer clocks down, so you get those first 8 minutes, but if you cross the line before the 10-minute timer, you get to finish your lap.
So just get a little feel for the track. You know, it might not be on the correct tyres, but gives them a little bit of a warm-up, we'll say, without wasting tyres that they're most likely going to end up using in the race. But Tiny now coming to the final corner. Ooh, looked like he was just the way to cut that apex there at turn 10. But to the line, a 107.143.
Good time from him, obviously at 106.6 for Danny. We'll talk more about cut-offs a bit later on in the session, but we'll just deal with this Intermediate Championship at first. As I said, Tiny leading that, and we were supposed to have a couple of others do the intermediate. Tay, one of the newcomers, they actually decided to do an intermediate lap as well, which is nice to see. Chuck on an out lap, but it said it's a bit of fun, but it's not all fun in games once we get really right into it, and drivers potentially will knock themselves off and into the wall and out of the session. So it is a bit of fun, but if you get it wrong, it's not really a laughing matter, is it?
No, it certainly isn't, especially at this track, I would say, with so many high-speed corner, especially in that middle sector. It is, yeah, you are kind of going for it, and it would have a tendency to get in quite a bit less grip, I will say, than, even if I remember right, you're coming out of turn 3, getting over that crest. It was the tail end liked to try and overtake the front, so to speak.
Yeah,
Matthew's just want to finish a lap.
Chuck is, well, Matthew on the medium tyres to start off with in Q2, goes second fastest at 104.7. As I said, we'll talk more about cut-off points just after this first 8 minutes are up. We're just solely really focusing on those intermediate fights for this race. Haven't got the standings up to date for you, so there isn't really much to talk about on that front, but me and Lee are going to set aside a day in the next week to get that sorted so we can be right up to date and seeing who's winning this intermediate championship, because it was Tiny last season who won out in those Q1 fights all through those 10 rounds at the end of F1 23. Chuck comes to the line now and it's a 108.3 and he's last of the 3 drivers who have set laps on the intermediates. Queeks Gamer, the Dutchman in the Red Bull, now setting his lap on the intermediate and got the Brit in the RB of Chuck, giving him a totally up towards turn 3.
Yeah, that'll definitely help his time getting up there. He could possibly even get into the 106s, maybe, do you think? If he keeps us up?
Maybe. We could see someone come in to get into the 106s. Got Tate on an out lap now as well. He will just get around in time to actually do his lap time. Sorry, we didn't get that up on the board. We're getting to the final lap stage when the Intermediate Championship is active at the moment as we go through the left and right of turn 7 and 8 and then up and over the crest into turn 9. As I said, me and Lee have actually done this race in the last few days. Did it on Saturday. Would love to see the track limits come in on the game as well, Lee, for next year, because it's a brilliant idea. And Quakes Gamer almost a 107.020 for Quake's Gamer on the intermediate tyre. Tate is on a lap and is invalidated. Still though, Lee has enough time to get round before that 10-minute mark to get another lap in, so isn't finished yet. But it's nice to see 5 drivers who've competed this evening.
Yeah, but just Super Striker there, he just invalidated his time coming out of turn 9 and just went that little bit wide on the curb and unfortunately invalidated his lap time. I think Tate's going again. Yep. They're going again, so...
He is indeed, yeah. He's wanting to get it done as he goes up into the Lauder curve. And up through the straight, the DRS straight, which was obviously altered here for MotoGP a couple of years ago because turns 2 and 3 here was far too dangerous on one of those powerful motorcycles. As he goes over the curb at turn 3 there, Lee. That was a nice line actually that he did there. He seemed to get a lot of grip for the intermediates on the exit as well as he comes up and over the crest and into turn 4. He's really on the raggedy edge here and trying to get a good lap in.
Yeah, I think he may be actually up compared to Quake's, maybe even, I'm not sure. I'll be able to tell you in just a few short moments.
So he's got quite a quiet track as well, Tate, as he comes towards the final 2 corners, hitting the minute mark. This is going to be pretty close. It's a pretty good lap time from him here as we wait to see him cross the line. It's 12th fastest. It's 4th of 5th overall. It's Quake's Gamer that wins the Intermediate Championship this evening when we just go into the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, we've done quite well first time doing the intermediates there that I've seen anyway, so it is a little bit fun, especially when you see people who have just came in and they've thought, you know what, why not? Yep, no worries. I'm on board with Lee right now as he's just coming around turn 8 on his way down to the penultimate corner. Let's see how he's going to hook it up. Just touches that apex on the inside. That sends his car a little bit out of control as he was coming around turn 9 on the exit. Comes to the line, he puts in the 105.101, no, 199, sorry. That was Super Striker that just came in a 105.101. Seeing who's going to be up next. I think it's going to be Royal Rumble, but he's invalidated his time. I'm sure, but I think like Arg maybe, yep, he's just trying to get as much battery as he can, but that's not going to help him coming out the final corner quite slowly there. Got Ginger the lap, and he's got the Silver of Mopar just ahead of him, just going into turn 9 now.
Mopar on the lap as well, I think.
Yep, they're both on a lap now, so Mopar goes 7th, 105.223. Ginge, did he invalidate that time?
No, I'm not sure actually. I think he did go fast. It was a 107.8 from him on the medium tyre. That guy, Sean, the only driver now that hasn't set a lap time as he goes up into turn 3. We have a fastest time of a 104.378 for Tiny. We'll bring it up now and we'll bring it up at the end, see how close we were. The cut-off time that we actually for this one predicted was a 104.8. I have a feeling we could be wildly off that.
Yeah, I think we were a bit too ambitious with that one, to be honest.
So me and Lee's prediction of 104.8 plus or minus a couple of tenths. So if we get a 105 deadly, we've still got it right because we give ourselves almost a half a second margin. That guy Sean coming around the final corner now, all over the curb at the final corner, using as much track as he possibly dare, and it's 10th fastest on the medium tyre. A lot of drivers using the mediums in Q1, Lee. Something we haven't actually spoke about is Chuck is on the lap as well, almost 5 tenths up on his previous fastest time, which was on the intermediate.
Who was that? Sorry, I was a bit distracted. Chuck there. Oh, he's only half a second up. It's not really much, but is it going to be enough to be able to get him through? I'm unsure about that, but we'll be able to see how he's going to be able to do coming around the final couple of corners in Sector 3. Ooh, pushing right on the limit there on the exit of turn 10. Crossed the line at 104.874. We must have got a really terrible Sector 3 before.
The benchmark wasn't for Q1, it was for 5th place. So,
your mic's sounding weird again.
Wonder why that is. Is that better?
Yep, better.
Oh, sorry, I have got a new mic. Hopefully it does sound better. I know we've got some people in the chat as well. So hi John, hi Bowden, hi Tiny. Nice to see you. Nice everyone who's joined us so far. One thing that we will talk about later on as well. We won't put it up on the screen at the moment, but we have an absolutely cracking lineup of races in the next few weeks in no particular order. Obviously we've got Austria tonight, Bahrain, Brazil, there's a couple of others as well. Let me just find them again quickly. I think Lee, you've got them there as well, haven't you? Monza next week, that's the other one. So Monza, Bahrain, Brazil, the next 4 races including tonight. I think you're going to be in for a treat. Close racing always in Thursdays, but to have the tracks to go with it is always one of the biggest factors to go racing as well, in terms of having close racing, and the next 4 tracks usually always, Lee, has fantastic league racing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Austria is DRS haven pretty much. Monza, we're going to see a lot of tomfoolery happening in qualifying, I reckon. Brazil, maybe even a drag race to the line. And Bahrain, that always just provides excellent entertainment.
So one thing to note as we go into the final few minutes, at the moment the Wednesday tier is gone away again. We're not seeming to get the numbers for Wednesday that the admins owners wanted and needed. Obviously, it's just due to the factors of this game not being the best. It seems to have had a downhill spiral. We say this quite a lot ever since sort of since EA took over in 21. 21 wasn't a bad game by any means. I'd much rather go back to that. It was actually a very good game. But from 22, in the last 3 iterations, it has certainly gone downhill, and I think it's just put off a lot of people from racing. So it's one of the factors, but not getting the numbers as well. It is a part to play in it, admittedly. As Kuwait's gamer comes towards the line, I think to start a lap here, because he's into the 110s and just starts on another lap with just over 3 minutes to go. So Wednesdays is gone for now. You still get your usual Mondays and Thursdays. I wasn't able to do Monday because I actually had a power cut at about 20 to 8 that lasted till about 10 at night. So literally pretty much the whole window and a little bit more of when we go league racing. That was so annoying, honestly, because I'd done all the prep work earlier on. I'd gone and seen a friend. Doing everything, and I thought, I can just run in the door, sort of 7:45, everything's all set up on the laptop, just got to set my tablet up and with all my notes and things like that, and, oh, sorry for touching the mic, all those things like that, and then we can get going, just make sure I put the stream in, etc, on YouTube, and just click stream, start stream, but no, got in, walked through the door, I was like, seems pretty dark in here, tried to turn the light on. Didn't happen, so it was quite frustrating because I rushed back from a friend's house who lived about 12 miles away. So anyway, Kuwait's gamer goes second fastest at 1:04.5, but we should be right with GP1 as usual next week. So we're just looking at the bottom half of the table at the moment as Danny goes around and into the wall. I don't know how he hasn't lost one of his front wheels there as he backs over the line, but I think that means Danny is out. He's lost a bit of his front wing with 1 minute and 40 left on the clock. He hasn't got enough time to get around to repair, and he's still going in the wrong direction, reversing for some reason.
Yep, just reminded me of Max Verstappen in free practice 1. Just wheeling it back, but the opposite way. But yeah, he's not going to be able to get a time in. Well, another one. Prof is going to be another one, I think. Yep, he's still yet to come out, and Arg is out on track right now, just saving that battery back up for a lap.
Yeah, so the cut-off time realistically here was a 5.3. We're about 3.5 tenths off unless we see some quicker times. Prof's still in the pits. We're down to less than a minute. He's definitely not going to be able to go out and get another lap. So it's only Arg that can save himself. It's actually between the 2 Haas cars now, Lee, on which one of those 2 are going to go out in Q1, or is Aki going to get involved as well with that 1.52, and that guy Sean going to get up ahead of him. We'll keep an eye on that guy Sean as he goes around turn 6 and turn 7.
Is he going to get a little bit of a touch? No, not enough to give him any proper type of help anyway. But around the final 2 corners now, being careful on that exit for the track limits. Now to the line, what does he do? 104.821. Now Aki is the one in the danger zone.
And Arg is down on his time with not a lot of battery to play with. He's only down to the last 10%, give or take, as he comes into the last couple of corners. And he was down on his previous best time through the final corner, not using any of the curbage on the outside. As he comes across the line, he was down on his time. He's going to be starting 18th and last. And we now have our bottom 3 who will be starting where they finished in Q1.
Yeah, but a little bit unfortunate there for Danny there at the end. And yeah, Arg unfortunately not being quick enough there, and Prof not getting out in time.
Tay still on a lap here, going faster than he was previously. He was just a smidgen up on his time in that second sector as he goes into the final corner now and goes over the runoff and doesn't invalidate his time, Lee. And third fastest for Tay and 104.513 for him as we wait for that guy Sean, who has completed his lap already and for some reason is deciding to have a little drive in the gravel.
Yeah, I think he was thinking that Arg was on it lap there, so he was just making sure to be right out the way. But yeah, that's him just coming back into the pits now, getting that 8th position, and we'll be moving through to Q2, 104.2821.
So we now just wait for that guy Sean to be wheeled into the garage. So we were well off with our Q1 cut off. I think we're going to be quite far off for Q2 as well. Maybe by about the same margin. So after you.
Yeah, mine's cutting out.
Oh, okay. We'll get that sorted.
Right, cool. So that is the end of Q1, and we're just looking at somebody's face here right now in the pit. There we go. And it's not loaded up yet. So here we go. We've got Tiny in first, then we've got Marky second, Tate in third, Koyaks fourth, fifth was Sticky Panda, sixth was Super Striker, then we had Matthew in seventh, 8th was that guy Sean, then we had Royal Rumble, Chuck, Mopar, Ginge, Perm Bowden, Lee, then we had Ake in 15th, Danny, then I forget because it didn't come up for me. Danny, Prof, and Arg. That was it.
So we're into Q2, 15 minutes of this session, 15 drivers to fight it out to get themselves into the top 10. And who will be the driver / team that will be out first? It looks like the Ferrari will be first out into the pit lane, but I don't think it'll be first out on track, as that will be a Williams. It's a Williams, a Ferrari, an Alpine, and the second Ferrari at the end of the pit lane as we wait to see more cars. And McLaren, the Haas of that guy Sean, out of the pits as well, and the RB of Super Striker, who's come out of the pits as well.
Yep, so there's going to be Royal Rumble, who's going to be first on his lap. I think he was, what was it, 3rd or 4th last? Oh, Jim, I forgot already. And he got 9th there. He was sitting up near the top, halfway through there, so he has got the pace, I would reckon. You still there?
I am, yeah. Every time I do commentate at the moment, I get hay fever. Every single time. Just give me a sec.
Maybe some dust in the room or something?
More likely to be pollen if it's hay fever, mate, rather than dust.
Well, I don't know. I'd never deal with that, so I'm okay. Royal Rumble, though, on a lap. Coming into turn 1 there. Not using up as much of the road on the left-hand side. Still hooking it in quite nicely to the apex now, up the hill around this little kink of 2, and then into 3 heavy braking. Hooking that curve quite nicely there. Now DRS wide open, getting the traction that he needed on the exit of 3. Now downhill braking, just braking just after the 100-metre board into turn 4. Nicely does it.
Who's this, sorry?
Royal Rumble.
Go for it.
He's just coming into turn 7 now. Going out quite wide there. He's quite way off from the apex there. Coming into turn 9, the penultimate corner of this lap. Misses that apex, barely touches that curb on the exit. Not going on the limit, but still a 104.790. Is that going to be enough to get him through? You got 9th place in Q1.
107.9 of 104.795 for him, a 104.5, and then another 104.5 from Ginge just after RSI Markey, as the house of that guy Sean does a 105.2 as they get out of the way for a faster flyer on a lap coming through the Lambda curve.
Your mic is poopy.
What's going on with it?
Going up and down.
What
It's
volume?
like a bloody roller coaster.
Strange. Give me a sec. It must be the angle.
Yeah, even John is sitting it as well. Your audio's up and down.
During...
Tete, they're getting.
Go for it. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just saying Tete fastest there, a 104.538. Just faster by 400ths of a second over Ginge there. Oh, that was it. Thought I just seen someone cross the line there. With the Red Bull Koyx Gamer there, 5th, 104.786. With Lee as well, 104.865. Mopar coming into the pits now. Super Striker on a lap. He's on in sector 1. Well, coming up to the end of sector 1 now. Aki coming to the end of sector 2. Is he on a lap? I don't think so, no. So it's just Super Striker at this moment on a lap coming down the hill into turn 4. Did you get it sorted?
I think it's alright. I think I need to actually move it away from my mouth a little bit because that's where the irregularity comes, I think.
Cool. No worries, and I'm glad
So
I
hopefully,
managed to sort that out.
Hopefully that will sort it out. Aki did a 112.777. I think that means he's just done a cool down lap and he is going again as Super Striker comes through the final corner of the lap, trying to be on the raggedy edge out of that final corner. It's 9th fastest, a 104.8 for him there, and there are a lot of drivers that are very close. 4 drivers in the 104.7s as it stands. And I think the only driver on the lap is Aki, who's 3.5 seconds up on his time going in to turn 4 and just exiting in the now silver and black Mercedes in F1 24 through turn 6, a downhill left-hander where you've got to be patient but also aggressive to get back on the throttle again through 7 and 8, sorry, and up and over the crest into the final 2 corners. We have to be committed but also keep a firm eye on the wide line on the exit of both corners, and especially the final corner. You don't want to ruin it right at the very end of the lap, and Aki stays 11th fastest, but he does a 105.3 as Matthew is on a lap going through turn 1, starting his lap in the Red Bull as he goes up the hill towards the Remus turn at turn 3 as he goes through the slight left of turn 2 and getting on the brakes, using a bit of the curb, getting it all stopped nicely, but then the exit not as pretty as the entry as we go up and over the crest and down the hill with the DRS open towards turn 4. Much nicer exit at turn 4. Turn 5 dealt with. There's only really 7 corners around this circuit, even though it says 10. Turn 6 dealt with. 7 and 8 as well. 8 not really much of a corner, just got to watch out on the apex of that corner, or the, you would call the exit of turn 7 through turn 9. That was very fast and committed, using all of the road on the exit. And now around the final corner, what lap time is this going to be? It's going to be a 104.4, and it's fastest in Q2 as it stands.
Yeah, absolutely belter of a time there. Over a tenth quicker than the Williams of Tete Mundem there. Going further down. Oh, Tiny was away to start a lap. Oh, he was just finishing a lap, but invalidated the last corner, I think. Mopars is on a lap now. Come to the end of sector 1 there. Now DRS open on the run down to turn 4 here. It's going to be downhill braking. On the brake a wee bit earlier than what you anticipate with it going downhill, and then we're going back up around turn 5 into 6. Keeping it in nice and tight. Beware of the understeer on the exit. Into 7 there, and 8 now. And we've only got 2 corners left to go. Pretty much flat out almost. Just a wee lift and touch on the brakes there from Mopar. Now to the line. Times are going to be able to put in a 104.587. That is good enough for 4th place. Tiny just coming into the pits. That guy Sean will be away to start a lap in just a few moments. He's coming to the start of sector 3 now.
So we'll stay with that guy Sean for the entirety of his lap as he starts now. He must have done a second cool down lap there, or made a mistake on his first flyer after coming out of the pits again as he goes through the Lauda curve. Lovely stuff there. Car was very balanced through the corner. Sticky Panda goes fast. This is a 104.1. Me and Lee's Q2 cutoff time was a 104.3. We might be slightly closer to that one, Lee, than the Q1 cut-off. We'll come back to that again towards the end of the session as we see that guy Sean coming down the hill into turn 4, using all of the curb on the entry to open up the corner as much as he can into the apex now. Out of turn 4, 5 dealt with. Turn 6 now, one of the more tricky corners, a corner where you can use so much time. As I'm getting my phone going off there, apologies, that's my old man ringing me. As we go up and over the hill into turn 9 and now turn 10. And he goes 8th fastest at 104.7.
Yep, fastest of the 104.7s there anyway. We've got Perm Boden in that green silver there, just coming around turn 4. I think he went a little bit wide, didn't carry as much speed around the exit of turn 4 anyway. Now into turn 6 and 7, keeping it nice and tight there and using up as much of the track as possible on the exit of 7, going into 8 now. Over that little crest, and if you're in that driver's seat, it is blind apex. But oh, and he just goes that little bit wide going into the final corner.
And that's where this track can really bite you in the backside. He's going to have to go again. He has got time to go again. Has he got enough time to get back in the pits though, Lee? It's around... What are we looking at when we get to actually see the board again? 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Tiny.
It's close.
Tiny there, going under braking into turn 3. The car actually spun out there and flew to the right hand side. That is highly unusual. I've never seen that before.
I didn't catch it, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was a bit of an odd one, really. It was like under braking and got a bit on the curb on the left hand side and didn't get the braking that he was needing, I think. And it just threw him to the right hand side, so fortunately never invalidated, but it did mess up his lap and he's going to be jumping into the pits now. Get a little refuel and back out again just in time.
I think Perm Boden would be wise to do the same thing. Is he going to pit as well? No, he's not. He's going to go again around the final corner to start what could be his final lap of Q2. but is it going to be his final lap in qualifying, or is he going to see himself into Q3 for the first time in the last couple of seasons, as he now comes up the hill through that new reprofiled section of MotoGP through turn 2, on the brakes for turn 3, turned in slightly early there and had to straighten out the car before turning in and taking another stab at the corner over the crest of the DRS zone between turns 3 and 4, locking up the front brake slightly into that downhill section where it's very easy to catch the right front tyre as he pulls back to the right hand side to open up turn 6, the downhill left-hander. Watch out for the exit, watch out for the gravel trap on the outside. Turn 7 looks slightly wide there, running over the curb of turn 8 as normal. And now 2 corners to go, the 2 most important ones for track limits. Don't go over that white line. Throw it into the final corner, and he's gone over the white line, but it hasn't invalidated him, and he goes 14th fastest, a 105.339. So those track limits, exploiting the track limits, didn't really help him all that much.
Yeah, but it's showing that the game isn't necessarily punishing as before on track limits here. As before, that would, as soon as you go off track, that would be it. Your lap is over. But for some reason, it seems to be not as harsh and a bit more lenient than previously. We've got Tiny in the Alpine, who's still to set a time. Just coming up to the penultimate corner, and we'll be getting ready to start the lap now. Then we'll go around the final corner. We'll see what time he's going to be able to do. He's coming up to turn 1, braking just after the 100-metre board and flinging it in there nicely. Clips that apex, uses as much of that track as he can on the exit, and the DRS is going to be wide open now, reducing the drag as much as possible on the run up to turn 3, and braking just at that 100-metre board again, clipping that apex. You're getting a bit too much there. Now DRS open all the way down into turn 4, braking quite hard, being careful that you don't end up understeering off into that gravel, as that does tend to happen sometimes up to turn 6 now. Keeping it in quite nice and tight, being careful on the exit. And the 7, hooking it up nicely. Ooh, just keeping it in there. Got that silver there on the left-hand side. Might have distracted him a bit now into 9. Nicely done into 10. Using up as much of that apex as possible. And to the line, he goes second, to 104.2 on the dot. Nicely done there from Tiny.
So as we're into the very final moment of Q2, me and these predicted Q2 cut-off time was a 104.3, 2/10 either way. We're looking at a 104.5, Lee. So we're there, actually, with our cut-off time just about this time around. But it's a big gap between Q1 and Q2. We're looking at a 105.1, I think the cut-off was for 15th place last time around. Izaki now comes into the pits. He's out in Q2, and I think that is it, Lee. It's all over and done with.
Yep, that is the end of Q2. Unfortunately, okay, they're not making it through. Perboden, unfortunately, 2. Sean, Royal Rumble, and the lead, they will not be moving on. So, but unfortunate for them, guys. But we'll see if they'll be able to make it up in the race, as we do have 36 laps of racing still to go. And now we're just waiting for, I think that's Mopar getting wheeled back into the garage.
So, I'm just having a little gander at the live chat at the moment, and Chuckle's saying that he's changed his settings. I'm just paraphrasing here, so he's hopefully looking forward to Monday. I'd love to know, Chuckle, Paul, what settings you're on about, as I haven't raced this game, so I'd actually love to know what you've changed. If you could put that in, we'll read it out at least understandings.
Yep, so Sticky Panda there getting the fastest lap of 104.101. Guess that'll be the time to be in Q3. Tiny in second place And we had the Super Striker, Marky 4th, 5th is Chuck, Matthew in 6th, 7th is Koyak's Gamer, Tate Mandem in 8th, Ginge in 9th and Mopar in 10th, and they will be moving on to the next stage of qualifying. Those who will not, and will be starting in their respective places, is that guy Sean in 11th, Royal Rumble 12th, Lee in 13th, 14th, Aki, and 15th for Perm Bowden. Now moving on to the final qualifying session, where the top 10 will battle it out for 12 minutes to decide that pole position and that extra point.
So we have 2 RBs, 2 Red Bulls and 2 Ferraris in Q3. We have a Sol Alpine, a Sol Williams and a Sol Sauber as well to make up the 10 as Ginge comes out into the pit lane first.
So that's what it was. Due to the last patch update, Paul recommended going back to the F1 22-23 wheel setting.
That makes sense. To be fair, that could make some sense. Ginge, the first car up. We're just going to do our usual here. Tiny. After that, is it? It certainly is.
Yep.
Who's after that, Lee?
Then it'll be Matthew. Is it? No. It's the RB Super Striker after that. Then, Matthew's round at turn 4. On your note lap. I'm unsure what happened there, whether there was contact or not, but I don't think there was. Maybe trying to fire up them rear tyres a bit much on the exit. But right now it's Ginge who's on a lap on the run up to turn 3. DRS is wide open there. Getting a bit of a lock up there going into turn 3 for Ginge. Gotta be careful there on the brakes there, going into turn 4, walking up and everything there and being braking well on the curb, like straddling it. Now 7 and 8. And it's like that battery is fighting to try and keep power into the engine. Just listening to the revs there as he was coming around turn 8 now into the final corner. Nicely done. To the line, 104.533. Tiny. What's he going to be able to do? 104.227. Super Striker, 104.822. Tate, 104.193. That would have been good enough for second place in Q2.
Very quick time from him. What's Matthew going to do after his spin? Put it on the front row, 104.2 for him, as RSI Markey must have done a slowdown lap there, and I think he's going again straight away, so we'll keep an eye out for him. His teammate Sticky Panda, the driver down in 4th in the Drivers' Championship at the moment, just coming around the final corner of the racetrack and just keeps it within track limits there as he comes across the line. It's provisional pole and it's 103.991, and we look to see what the pole record is here. It's a 103.637, and that was in GP1 last season on F1 23. Will we get to there? Maybe, but not with the way the track's been evolving. We may get a big evolution towards the end of the session as RSI Markey comes through turns 7 and 8 and up the hill towards turn 9. He's going to be the next car, and the RB of Chuck is going to be the final one of the first round in Q1 for that pole position. Around the final corner, was on the white line on the exit of turn 10. It's third fastest. It's Ferrari first and third for the start of the race as it stands, as we wait for Chuck coming out of turn 4 to complete his lap.
Yeah, but one thing I have been noticing recently with drivers in qualifying, they seem to be using that overtake button a lot, and it seems to be hindering them going into the final section of the lap. With it being so low on energy coming to the end of the lap, they're not getting that full boost that's required. But regardless, Chuck 104.140, good enough for second place there.
Less than
a tenth and a half off.
Less than a second separate all 10 drivers as we've got Ginge out on an out lap. The track will be slightly quiet, however, at this point, as we just removed that pole record time, but it's a 103.6 is the pole record, and we'll get to the 103.6s for the end of the session. And a few guys coming out on track early. Are they trying to get in 3 laps here at the shortest lap time of the season and the third shortest track on the calendar? Is that why they saved a set of softs in Q1 and went for the mediums to have 3 fresh sets for Q3? And they've got time, I think, to do these 3 laps.
Yeah, I would say they certainly do. I mean, it's only what just over
6 minutes to go
4
now.
minutes altogether.
Yeah.
4 minutes a lap roughly, and that's counting getting in, getting back out, pit lane, such like that.
And
so
obviously the final lap, the final lap, of course, you've only got to get to the line before the timer goes to 0. As Ginge starts his next lap, what we think could be potentially of 3 laps here. So this is his middle lap as he goes up the hill into turn 3. Of course, you can brake slightly later there, around 80 metres or so, as you've got gravity helping you get the stopping all done before the apex of turn 3. Once we finish talking about that, he's almost into turn 4 already, using all of the curve to open up the corner again. That's where the lap time lies and where you can really make a difference around this circuit, seeing as there's really only 7 corners here and a whole load of straights, and it really, every corner, every millimetre of the track really matters in qualifying here at the Red Bull Ring as he goes around turn 8 and up and over the crest, and arguably those millimetres really count in these final 2 corners. Team drivers get very close to track limits out of this final corner here as the car slides through. He keeps it within the track limits, and it's third fastest with a 104.1. It's 0.3 faster than his previous attempts. We now wait for Super Striker to finish his second of what we think is 3 laps. It's surely going to be 3 laps here, Lee. They've got plenty of time to get back as Mopar is starting a lap as well. I think he might be cussing it fine though to get in and out again. Super Striker to the line, 6.5 tenths up. It's third fastest. It's an RB23 as it stands. His Super Striker just pips Ginge's time by 0.02 of a second.
Yep, and I will say that the distance between second and fourth is only 14 thousandths of a second. So quite incredibly close between them, I will say.
So, Morph, next car.
Yep, Mopar just coming around turn 6 now. Into sector 3 now. He's 0.2 up on his time. So depending on if he keeps this lap up, he could possibly even go up to 4th or even 3rd, maybe even. Just that slight bit improvement into sector 3, using up as much of that track as he can on the exit. And
he was down at the end. Yeah, he messed up the final part of the lap. It's only 0.5 Lee between all 10 drivers as it stands. As RSI Marquee comes out now, and I think drivers are just clocked on to what Ginge and Super Striker and Mopar have done there and been able to get in 3 laps. I think even Mopar's going to get in a 3rd lap as well.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, he definitely will actually get back in and get back out in time. But, wait a minute, is he going for a lap now? He seems to have the battery.
No, he's not. He's 1.8 seconds down his time. The driver who is out on a lap at the moment is RSI Markey as he goes through turn 1 and the Lauda curve as he goes up towards turn 3. Exits nicely there. He was up in the first sector. As he now comes down the hill into turn 4, which is called Schlossgold. Turn 5, and then Rouge is turn 6. We have got some corner names here we haven't been using. Into the Worth curve, and then down to the penultimate corner, which is Joachim Rindt, of course the only Formula 1 World Champion to win the World Championship after he unfortunately, sadly, died at the Monza track. And RSI Markey goes off the track and invalidates his time. He invalidates the lap after that, Lee. Has he got enough fuel to go around? Maybe just. If he drives around like he's in the centre of town doing 20 miles an hour, maybe, but that might be RSI Markey's final attempt there as Ginge goes on to his final attempt with 1 minute and 19. He's actually going to beat the checkered flag. Actually, I'm not sure, Lee, is he doing one of your strategies here and going slowly and burning some of the fuel out?
Yep, he is actually, because he's using no battery right now, so he's just doing a...
Whoa.
Not fast, but not slow up either.
Sorry, Sticky Panda, I know you've got the stream up, it's a bit behind, you'll see it in a second. Absolutely had full opposite lock out of the Lauda curve, and that has completely ruined the start of his lap. And he's on provisional pole, he's got that 103.991, but he isn't going to be able to go any faster than that, so he's just going to have to wait and bite his nails for this nail-biting finish as we see Koix Gamer starts his lap. Do you think he can make it round?
Make it back across.
I don't think he can. No, it's 20 seconds left, Lee. Turn 7. He hasn't got enough time. No, I think you're well out, my friend. I have to be honest. As Morpar starts his final lap as well. We'll see if I'm right or Lee's right. It's 5 seconds left. He's through the final corner. Oh, it was close, Lee, but not close enough.
Ooh, just missed that.
Is the next car? It is going to be Koix Gamers off the road at turn 6. He had a big old snap as Super Striker goes onto the front row here. He hasn't been able to get into the 104 deads or the 103s either. Sticky Panda's still the only man able to do that up to now, as Matthew does a 103.7. It's close to that pole record time around here in GP1 last season. As we wait to see the next car across the line, it's Tiny, and then chucked to the line. He goes third fastest as an RB34 as it stands. What's Ginge going to do here? Second in the championship at the moment. He's going to be starting 5th at best as Morph comes to the line now. One of 3 drivers that have done 3 laps in this Q2 session. Is he going to be starting in 10th? He is indeed, and that is the end of qualifying. And Matthew has pulled it out the bag and he's on pole in the Red Bull and the Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, we'll say that was quite an exciting Q3 there, especially near the end. Just noticing the comments there in the chat, one about John, who's just got Matthew's old wheel, so he's going to be racing, but just doing the 5 lappers and that for now. But yeah, John's happy that Matthew got the pole position.
Yeah, and Chuckle called it as well. And there you go, you've got your pole position holder for the Austrian Grand Prix in round 4, and gets that extra point as well.
Yeah, as you said, Matthew getting that extra point there, and one of only 2 drivers there in the 103s, and Sticky Panda first and second, Chuck in third. His teammate is going to be lining up alongside him on row 2 in 4th place. Ginge in the McLaren is going to be 5th. Williams is Tate in 6th. Markey in 7th in the Ferrari. Tiny in the Alpine in 8th. Koyx Gamer in 9th, and in 10th is Mopar. So now we're going to be moving on to the main race. We're going to have 36 laps of racing.
And we'll be back in just a minute. And the formation lap is underway. As you said, we'll have 36 laps of racing. We'll have a look at the tyres. Everyone on mediums and softs. I still don't think in F120 mediums and hard. Sorry, I still don't think anyone has put the softs on at the very start of a race so far in F124. I don't remember anyone doing that. So, got 6 drivers on the hard tyres, 12 drivers on the mediums, and the top 4 is medium and hard tyres. So be interested to see what those guys will do at the very start when the lights go out. So just another reminder, Tiny leading the championship as it stands on 57 points. Joint second is Ginge and Strikes, who isn't here today. Mopar is reserving for them, and we'll also just quickly remind you of the reserves, Steve Mopar being one of them, Ash Gwyn, who I don't think has turned up, Matthew as well, who then won't get that extra point there actually, as he is one of the reserves starting on pole, and that guy Sean is the other driver in the Haas that is one of the reserves this evening. Keep your eye out for Sticky Panda, Tiny and Ginge. They're all well, and Super Striker as well. They're all well in the fight for the championship as it stands, as we wait for Arg, who's a long way behind everyone else, Lee. So Matthew is going to have to wait as Sticky Panda and Chuck have been pushed back in their box, as you can see when we're on board with Super Striker, by a good few metres as we wait for Arg to catch up to the back of the field, so we can get the start underway. As he gets to the very back here, we've got a very far away view of the grid to start off with. We've got Matthew on pole position. We've got Sticky Panda in second. We've got 5 red lights. And we're away here in Austria for the 4th round of the season in GP2 as we go on and up the hill towards turn 1. The RB of Chuck trying to go around the outside of Sticky Panda. He's pushed off the road as we now power up the hill towards turn 3, and the RB on the outside going to try and outbrake the Scuderia here into turn 3, and he has done. He better not collect the Red Bull and Matthew ahead. He hasn't, and then Sticky Panda gets involved with another car on the exit corner. It's Ginge who's been pushed wide and is now under threat from Super Striker down into turn 4.
Yeah, looking at Tate and the Super Striker, they made a little bit of contact. Same with Marky, they were like 3 wide into turn 3. But Super Striker managed to make it out and make it out ahead of that bunch. That guy Sean up 3 places already, and Lee up 2. So they're the biggest climbers up to now on lap 1. It looks like Koyak's is actually trying to line up a move on Haas, but goes off the track, and that's going to already be. That's 2 warning violations for Koyak's Gamer already on turns 9 and 10. Going side by side though right now is Lee and Mopar. Lee's got that inside line going into turn 1, and Mopar ends up just understeering a little bit out wide.
Yeah, and of course we're already on the 2nd lap and we already have DRS available. As Ginge is trying to get past Sticky Panda, and we're watching Royal Rumble and Tiny fighting out at turn 3 here as they go on the exit. They both have DRS to play with here as we go down the hill. Tiny on the offensive though to the inside at turn 4, but didn't have the momentum and is now holding up the Williams of Royal Rumble behind, who had to get on the brakes to not collect him out of turn 4.
Yeah, I was thinking Royal Rumble went into the back of him there and possibly broke a wing, but he is all good anyway for now. So that is a bit of good luck for him. Already dropped out of that DRS zone, the DRS window, sorry.
Yeah, so has Chuck as well, 1.2 seconds behind the race leader Matthew, but he is a reserve this evening as well, so the win won't count in terms of the stats. Technically, in terms of full-time drivers, Chuck is leading the way. Ginge coming up the hill now, DRS available. Is he going to outbrake him here? Is he going to try and outbrake him before the detection point? No, Chuck is going to get the DRS back at him again as we go up and over the hill at turn 3. He certainly does have DRS to fight back. Ginge decides not to defend to the inside as we go into turn 4 now. Chuck getting back that 2nd place he lost at turn 3 only a few hundred metres ago.
Yeah, nicely done there from the RV driver there, regaining that 2nd place. We've seen that guy Sean and Koyak's Gamer battling out quite toughly, but Sean managing to keep that 8th place, or is he? Going up the inside, going into turn number 9, and it looks like he's got it. Koyaks has got it, but here is Sean coming up the inside at turn 10. What a move there! And says no to Koyaks getting that position, and now Lee coming up the right hand side of that Red Bull. Is Mopar going to be having a wee look? No, doesn't get close enough. So now Koyaks lost 2 positions and now down to 10th, but this is coming back at Lee to come and get that 9th place back. And he does, nicely done. Is he going to be able to get Sean this time around?
And
that's the question.
As that one McLaren was fighting, his teammate was fighting towards the front of the field. Still is fighting, in fact, as Chuck is trying to get the position back on Ginge. It's a parallel of a couple of laps to go, and Chuck is back into 2nd, but for how long, as Ginge has the inside and is well and truly alongside into turn 6. Now they're still side by side as they go through 6, surely not into 7 as well. No, it isn't, and Ginge has made contact with Chuck, or Chuck making contact with Ginge, and Chuck now down in 10th place. Is it going to be 11th on the exit of turn 9? Is the Alpine of Tiny right on his gearbox here as we go on to lap 5. Sticky Panda got DRS on Ginge. Ginge got this big train of cars behind him now, all biting at his heels to try and get that 2nd place. All the while, Matthew, 3 seconds in the lead now, as we're going to have a big old drag race up the hill. Is RSI Marquis and the other Ferrari now getting involved, wanting to get some overtakes done as we go into turn 3. He's moved up a place on Tate. He's going to try and get a place on Ginge. He has done. Ginge, for some reason, is ghosting in the midfield there, well, in the middle of that fight, as he's still ghosting. It's all happening. Overtakes are plenty as the RB of Super Striker goes for a big lunge at turn 4, and it pays off as he gets past that guy Sean, but RSI Marquis up into 4th after all that happening, and I'm going to have to take a minute after that.
Yeah, I'm Sean there trying to have a wee look up the inside at turn 6 there, but didn't manage to get close enough. Unfortunately, Ginge dropping right down there. I was thinking that he was going to try and take advantage of using that ghost in and just brake right on and just phase through everyone. But yeah, unfortunately ended up not being able to lead, getting a 10-second time penalty. Is he done? Yep, unfortunately that's his race over.
So
but right now, Royal Rumble going for a move on Mopar using that DRS, and it looks like Danny's going to be making a move as well. They're going to be side by side going into turn 3.
Yeah,
who's going to be able to get a better traction on the exit? It looks like it's going to be Mopar.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's Wales versus America out of turn 3 there, and the Yankees are on top as they go into turn 4. And Morph, though, having a time penalty to his name already. And as it's been said in the comments, this fighting at the front has caused Matthew to get a good lead, but that lead actually shrunk as it's down to 2 seconds now. It was around 3 seconds the last time I checked in with that, around 90 seconds ago.
Yeah, but Marquis putting in the fastest lap of 106.7. Now got some clean air and only got his teammate there just ahead, so it's not going to be. They're not going to be battling with each other. They're going to be working as a team to try and catch up to Matthew up ahead.
Here goes Super Striker on the inside at turn 3 on the Williams of Tate as he gets through and up into 4th place. Is Tate going to come back at him here? But Super Striker does get the DRS from being within 1 second of RSI Marquis, and Tate with a big lunge there to the inside at 4. It was bold, it was brave, but it didn't pay off in the end. And Super Striker, the wise old fox that he is, has just done the switchback on him at turn 4 to get back that 4th place.
Yeah, Tate just going that a little bit too deep, and didn't have to brake as late as he did, but unfortunately, yeah, that just braked that a little bit late, and that ended up sending them a bit too deep into the corner. Still got DRS though, and that gap between Sticky Panda and Matthew is actually coming down.
Yeah,
and 2:10.
And are the Scuderias going to work together here to try and catch up to Matthew ahead? I know they're technically in the net lead anyway, but you always want to get it on the road as the 2 Ferraris switch places here at turn 3. Is that orchestrated or is that racing? We'll find out down towards turn 4. Is Sticky Panda wants to try and take that back, or are they going to work together to try and close down the gap as we see a lock-up from the Red Bull in the lead there as they go through turn 4? And something's caught Lee's attention. It's Royal Rumble in Mopar, I believe, as they go through turn 4 with Danny right on the tail of them as well.
Yeah, we just went on board with Ginge and just seen Tiny just ahead and going into turn 4 and actually locked up, and you seen the right hand, like the car drift to the right hand side while he was locked up. So yeah, it was the right hand side that he locked up, so it ended up slowing that side down and almost launching it into the wall there.
As we exited the final corner to finish lap 8, RSI Marquis got gifted a 3-second time penalty there as we go up the hill towards turn 3. Does that mean he's going to let Sticky Panda go through? Or are they going to stay where they are and hope that RSI Marquis can get a buffer from other cars later on? But we still have a load of pit stops to do in that kind of thing, so it's a bit early to call that. As QX Gamer is drag racing the Haas of that guy Sean towards turn 4. They make slight contact into the braking and that guy Sean sticks his car up the inside and makes sure that he got the place on the exit. But as they go into turn 6 now, it's side by side again and they make contact, and Koyx Gamer somehow saved it and is back on the track.
Yeah, that was excellent, saving it there. Only managed to lose a couple of seconds, but yes, still a nice save there. I think that was just a racing incident between the pair of them, just battling that a little bit too hard. Moving up though, Tate could be looking for a move on Tiny, coming up for that 5th place. He's going to have the DRS. But wait a minute, Marquez has managed to close that gap to the Red Bull of Matthew ahead and could be looking for a move. DRS will be wide open on the run down into turn 4. What way is the Red Bull going to go? The Red Bull's going to go to the outside. Marquez throwing it down the inside, there's contact. And it looked like Marquez was about to go and push Matthew right off the track there on the exit. But this has allowed Sticky Panda to catch right up, and same with Super Striker also. Now it's 4 of them battling for the win.
Yeah, it's nice to see Matthew involved. As I said, the reserves aren't here. I'll just be back in a second, Lee. I'll have to stay with the front pack though, okay? Just for the minute.
Yep, no worries. I'll stay with these guys right now, looking at it. Marquez going to be a look up the inside of Matthew there, going into turn 1. But it's not the best place to make an overtake. This is one of the best places. Going up to turn 3 is Sticky Panda going to throw it up the inside. Yes, he is. Taking as much of that apex as he can to try and leave as much room to Matthew to make a little bit of contact. What is going to happen here? Is Sticky Panda going to be able to throw it down the inside? No, he isn't. He just didn't have the straight line speed. A little bit of a lock up there from Matthew. Now he's under threat from Sticky Panda and he has to back out. That's it. And now it's a Ferrari 1-2. Marky and Sticky Panda first and second. Ginge and Tiny battling it out as they're coming around turn 6. Tiny on the outside, Ginge on the inside. Tiny getting pushed right to the edge. That was a bit unsportsmanlike, I will say there. Never left them as much enough room on the outside. But we'll see how Tiny's going to be able to respond to that, as Ginge won't have the DRS coming up as they're on the rundown into turn 1. You see Tiny making sure not to use any battery to save it for the next stage coming up. Super Striker going for a move. No, he isn't. But this top, we're all really close now. Tiny just waiting for that move. Just waiting for the opportunity now, going into turn 4. He's going to have that DRS open on the straight down to turn 4. There we go, up into 5th place. The top 4 still stay the same. Oh, and Chuck locked up there, almost went into the back of Ginge, but managed to overtake Sean to move up into 7th place. Sorry?
I was going to say he got it done.
Yeah.
So he was able to get it all under control in the end. The top 4, as you just said, around 5.5.
Mike.
Oh, was that Bella?
Yeah, you just said the loudspeaker again.
Yeah, sorry. So the top 4 still with each other, and we've got a safety car deployed, Lee.
Oh, who's that? That's Aki. Aki's off at turn 7, 8.
Had a quiet one so far today, and as you said, between turns 7 and 8, he's gone off. It's the first safety car of the day. Is that the perfect moment for the medium runners, Lee?
Yeah, I think it would be. It's going to give these drivers a chance to get into the pits, and I'm looking. Is Koyx ghosting for you?
Is Koyx ghosting for me? He is, yeah. Does that mean he's not here? Has he left and we've not seen it?
I think so. Yeah, I'm on it now. I wasn't
brilliant.
sure.
Yeah, his car, the way the wheels move, it looks like it's under AI control.
It's too smooth.
So, RSI Marquis into the pit, so does Sticky Panda, the two Ferraris together, as Quake's game joins back, and actually for him that was perfect timing. The Super Striker stays out and takes the lead of the race. Slow stop for the Ferrari there for some reason, and then Sticky Panda going to get caught up with the double stack here as he comes in. He's going to pop out in 4th place.
You've seen the comment that Chuckle just put in?
I did, yeah. It is actually new. It's just rubbish for some reason. So
fancy.
Not sure why, but yeah. So the majority of the field have pitted, and we're just waiting to see if Ark does. No, he stays out. As he pit earlier on, is that why he stayed out? Yes, he has. He pit the lap before Quake's game and leaves the session again. So he's having some issues with his internet connection.
I'll keep.
You're going to spam him, are you? Well, to be fair, at the moment he can't lose position, so if there's any time to have some problems with your internet, now's the time.
Yeah, but I think because that I'm just coming in there. Now this is a curious one. Super Striker stays out.
Yeah, I did say that before. It is interesting.
No.
He's on the hard tyre. He hasn't pit though, so he's literally the only driver now that hasn't done his mandatory pits on.
Mike.
Oh my days, what's going on with this microphone? Sorry everyone. If anyone hasn't read the comments or they're listening later on, Chuckle put where's he put it? Go fund me for a headset mic. And it's new and it's not very good. So if anyone's watching later on, that's why. But yes, Super Striker has not pit, and the only one that hasn't pit is 16 that are left running, and we're just waiting for Arg to catch back up. We'll probably be finished at the end of this lap day actually. Back racing again on lap 16 with 21 laps to go. Would be my guess. So safety car in this lap. Actually called that early. I don't think Arg had caught back up to the back of the pack just yet.
There we go, and that's Koyak's just managed to get back into his seat. That's what he was having problems with, was getting back into his seat.
Well, that's good then. He sorted it out at the perfect moment as well. So we're just waiting for Super Striker to get underway. He's had a big, I'd argue we say a big disadvantage here with only 15 laps gone. How many laps would it be until he'd have to pit?
He could possibly, I think he'd possibly even go to a later lap and maybe even go in the soft.
So, with green flag racing once again, Super Striker gets us going on lap 16 of 36 as we go up and into turn 1. He was able to get the braking all sorted out nicely. Remember, RSI Mikey has a 3-second time penalty as he goes on the attack as they go up the hill. No DRS yet, and not till lap 17. RSI Markey on the inside though at turn 3, and he's alongside and past on the exit of turn 3 as they go up and over the crest towards turn 4. And Sticky Panda getting close. Matthew going around the outside at turn 6 on Super Striker. Maybe staying out was not the best call for him.
Sticky Panda there, throwing up the inside of turn 7. Oh, and just had to give him a wee tap there to say, give us a little bit of space here. As he was actually on the curb there. But these soft tyres proving absolutely essential right now compared to the hards and the medium compound, but they will fall off considerably quicker.
Ginge getting
Talking about
past Super Striker, sorry, and Chuck now getting past. It's that guy Sean getting past Super Striker. He led the first 2 corners after the restart, as DRS is enabled now as well, and he is now a sitting duck at the moment as that guy Sean makes contact with him. A bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there as they go down into turn number 4, and that guy Sean on the inside on the new hard tyre gets past. Easy as you like. Tiny now thinking about it as well as they go into turn 6.
Oh, giving him a couple of love taps there up the rear.
Oh, he's now going to try on the inside at turn 7. That's risky. Now on the outside of turn 8, and he's got it sorted. And then Tate follows him through as well. Super Striker's gone from 1st to 9th in a couple of laps. Matthew's going to go for the race lead here as well. Sorry, keep cutting you off.
Yeah, and Mike. But Matthew now going for it, moving to the right hand side, using that DRS, and now Sticky Panda's going to follow through. Is he going to go for it down the inside? He's been squeezed there. Oh, and he has to just wait patiently. He could be getting it now. He's going to have the better traction, and now down into the turn 4 corner. Cheesy peeps. And they're going to be side by side around turn 5. Sticky Panda having that inside line, nicely done, manages to keep get that position there.
Out of curiosity, is that better?
That is better.
Is that a lot better?
A lot better.
Ah, I've just put my muffler on from my other headset onto this one. It works fine. There you go. Problem solved.
I'll hope, anyway.
Or not problem solved, let's see. As we go out of turn 1 and up the hill.
Oh!
Mic issues. And
yep, still happening. Yep,
Ready?
Tate just getting too much of that curb on the inside of turn 1, and has just lost a place to that guy Sean. Now Sean going up to 6th, and actually wheel spinning out of turn 3, and that lost him the traction that he was needing. And Tiny managed to get back up into 6th position. Oh, Sticky Panda and Matthew Ball going around turn 6 here.
I was about to say it's all happening at the front, and it is indeed as we go up and through the middle sector. Matthew still leading on lap 19, about to go on to lap 20. Are you there, Lee? Are you still with us?
Yep. Sorry about that.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Having a wee look, seeing the penalties starting to stack up now for a lot of the drivers. It's only, was it 5-6 drivers not got penalties? Oh, and Ginge being a little bit cheeky there, not giving the space to Chuck there. And so we're coming up to turn 2. Chuck actually ended up having to go off the track in order to avoid contact. Seen Ginge maybe taking a page out of Max's book, is he?
Maybe slightly. You never know. You never know.
Maybe a couple of paragraphs, maybe.
just a couple. Just a couple.
Just enough on defending at least.
Yeah. Well, you could give him the whole chapter and verse on that one, couldn't he? As we go out of turn 8 with Danny, who's looking at the rear of that RB, and that RB actually using too much curb on the entry of the penultimate corner and almost too much on the exit of the final corner as well. As they go down the start finish, DRS enabled for him. Danny to the inside here, and he goes on past. Did he go off the track though? My angle wasn't the best there.
Yep, he did go off the track there, and I think that was Marky getting past Sticky Panda there, and is now chasing down the lead and moving to the right hand side and getting past that Red Bull, and now he's going to be able to hold them up for Sticky Panda can't get past.
See if one of these guys can make a move on RSI Markey. He's obviously going to want to try and get off into the distance and gain a 3-second gap that he really needs to have any chance of victory today. Looks like Tiny's getting close here to the gearbox of Chuck, but likewise Chuck is doing the same thing to Ginge. It's a very close fight at the front. We already had in the comments it's going to be a mad one at the start. And oh, sorry, we've just got a comment from Chuckle there as well, saying the hard tyres are the tyres to be on here by the looks of things at the Red Bull Ring. They certainly look like a good tyre to race with, that's for sure, as Chuck looks back to the right hand side, the inside, but it's just a dummy move to try and put off his rival of Ginger ahead. We've got a yellow flag flying, and that is for Perm Bowden on the exit of turn 3.
Ooh, not good when that happens. But now being overtaken by a Super Striker who's just came into the pits for the mediums and is hopefully for himself going to have the pace that he needs on them fresh mediums. Looking at it now, here's Tiny going for a move on Chuck, going to take that outside line going into turn 1. And actually ends up going off the track and is going to have to hand that position back. And he does so. Going up the hill. Yep, Matthew almost going for a move, and now Ginge getting past Sticky Panda. Chuck having to be look up the inside, the Sticky Panda also.
Yeah,
the softs are on their way out now.
Yeah,
is Tiny going to be having a look down the inside going into turn 4? Yes, he is. And he's getting it done as he's going to have that inside line. Just as all this is going on, we've got Matthew who has retook the lead of this Grand Prix, and now it looks like Tete's thrown up the inside into turn number 6 there, and so is that guy Sean in the Haas. They softs are buggered.
Yeah, it's all happening on lap 23. The offset of tyres just showing that the drivers that went on to the soft tyre are now in a losing position at the moment. The ball is definitely in the court of the drivers on the hard tyres as we know halfway through the first week of Wimbledon. It's appropriate to say that as we go up the hill. Go on, sorry.
Sorry, you were cutting out there, that was how. But yeah, looks like Markey going for that move on Matthews, throwing up the inside, a bit of a dive bomb, contact there. The wheels interlinking with each other, and now Markey having that DRS has been able to get past the Red Bull of Matthew and back up into that leading position.
It's been full of action at the front. It's a train all the way down to 8th place from the leader, but there are 5, 6 drivers of those 8 who have got themselves at least one time penalty this afternoon. They've all got 3 seconds, bar Mopar, who has got 2 3-second time penalties to make it up to 6 seconds. As we go down the start finish, the start lap 25 of 36.
Sorry, Robocop
is ahead. Sorry, is it me?
Yep, it's breaking up again. Looking at this battle here, Matthew going up the inside. And oh, he locks up, spins almost, and contact with Markey. Markey's off the track now, and now Ginge moves up into 2nd place, safety car.
That could be softs to the end now. The drivers who got knocked out in Q1 and Q2, apologies if my mic's being weird, they just tell me if it is. For people who got knocked out in Q1 and Q2, it's going to be interesting for them because they may have another fresh set of softs yet to be used, Lee, which could prove vital at the end. We've seen from the safety car previously.
Mate, pull your mic in and out. Or something. Microphone check. Alright, so we'll wait for the technical difficulties that have been ensuing. Happened. We're seeing all the drivers jumping into the pits now, and like you said earlier there, it is most likely going to be softs to the end. We've seen Matthew already jumping onto them. And can you see anyone getting a jump in the pits? It's going to be hard to realise who's who and who's jumped who.
Is that any better?
Yeah, well, we need to see because
it's
it's inconsistent.
There you are. Let's see. Apologies, everyone. I think this I think is my internet rather than anything else.
Ah, it's your internet then.
I think that's what it is. Got a full house this evening, so that could be why. I've turned everything I've got around me off the Wi-Fi, so hopefully that'll work. Is it still being crackly?
It wasn't that. It was just more like it was cutting in and out. Like it was only getting parts of your sentence.
Okay, I think that was the internet. Is it any better now though? I have pulled the mic in and out, so hopefully that's.
Yeah.
Sorry everyone, I might have to get another microphone.
Just get a bit closer or something.
Yeah, okay. It's pretty much as close as it can be, mate. Like, I can't get it much closer. I don't know what it is. I've got to try and see if I can get these microphones louder. It's saying it's loud on my OBS, same as yours, but, you know, might not be the case. So, after we were trying to sort that mess out, what have drivers done in terms of pit stops, Lee? A lot gone to the mediums, a lot gone to the soft, sorry, some gone to the mediums, not trusting the soft tyres to the end, or just haven't got them available.
It's going to be a tough one, but I think the medium tyre will be the better one, depending on when this safety car comes back around. As you see Kayak's jumping into the pits for another set of softs. Just making sure they're going to be able to last till the end, I think.
So, Kayak's game had gone out just ahead of Perm Bowden there. I don't know why he decided to pit again. Did he put a new front wing on? Yes, he did. I think he did.
I'll go and give that a check just to be sure.
I'm just having a look myself as well.
No,
it was just another set of tyres. I think, are we going to get going now? I think we could get going now. The safety car gets called in early here, so drivers do get a lot of time to get themselves prepped and ready for the restart. So, Matthew leading us away. Remember, he's one of the reserves this evening. They're up on your screen quickly. I haven't done this today. You're watching the 4th round of the season in GP2. The link to the Discord is at the top of the screen. If you're enjoying the content and want to get involved, racing Mondays and Thursdays for the time being, 8 o'clock UK time. And it's a Discord top of the YouTube channel. If you're liking the content, it's been fantastic today. Had a load of people watching along. It's been brilliant. So subscribe to the channel and like that video as we get green flag racing once again. And Matthew caught everyone else unawares early.
oh, so a 1 second gap already. That is incredible, especially at a safety car restart. Oh, Chuck getting a little bit out of shape there, coming around turn 1, just turning in that a little bit too early and clipping that apex a bit too much. But Chuck now going for the move, going up the inside at turn 1. He's going to have to try and make this work as soon as possible, as he's at a disadvantage on them medium tyres compared to them softs. So he's going to have to try and fire them up as quick as he can and try and pull away and try and stay within that DRS of Matthew just ahead.
Great racing between them. As I said earlier on though, half the grid, even more than half the grid now, have time penalties. We're looking at 10 of 16 drivers who have time penalties so far today, and there could be more that's racked up in the near future. Matthew 1.4 seconds in the lead as we've got a yellow flag and a car spun around. Perm Bowden in the Sauber at the exit of turn 4. DRS enabled once again, and Ginge will have that DRS to attack Chuck in the RB. Danny getting a 3-second time penalty there. Oh, big lunge here from Tate. He loves a good lunge. Does the Alpine, does the Williams driver, sorry, against the Alpine, but the Alpine driver are tiny, getting the traction on the exit and getting past again. Tate holding back this time around. It's not the right moment for another dive bomb from him there, Lee. Microphone, Lee.
Yeah, it was yeah, just seen Sticky Panda there almost stick it up the inside of Tate at turn 6. Having a look now, 1.5 seconds to gap to the leader right now. As we move further down, Tate is looking up and move on tiny there, getting a 1/10 of a second behind as we're coming into the braking zone. Is he going to be able to get up and get close enough to be able to make a move? Got another driver with a 3-second time penalty. That's Koyak's Gamer.
Actually has a look to the outside this time, does Tate. I think he was just trying to do something a bit different this time around, but it hasn't been able to work for him. As Mopar looks to the right hand side, the inside on Super Striker here. Medium tyre versus medium tyre, but 4 laps newer for the Sauber driver, and he's up into 8th position.
Yeah, but look at these drivers. There's only, what, 4 drivers out there that haven't got a penalty. Sticky Panda, Ginge, Matthew and Arg.
Yeah,
so they could be possibly gaining a good few places if this keeps up.
And so could drivers like Sticky Panda as well. Look at this queue of cars coming out of the final corner here. Sticky Panda right in the middle of it as he tries to go for an overtake on Tate. He pulls to the right hand side though to go on the attack on the Alpine that he's trying to get past for the last couple of laps as he gets on the power on the exit. Not the greatest of exits for him as Chuck uses a bit of the runoff there to get past as it's 3 wide up towards turn 3 with Sticky Panda on the inside of the two of them, and he's up into 4th place and on the charge and trying to get up on Ginge because it could be these two that are fighting it out for the race win this evening. That potentially, oh, again 3 wide into turn 4. That was massively optimistic from Tate there, and Sticky Panda still stays in 4th place.
Ooh. Tate and Sean making contact there, and Sean's round at turn 6. Don't think Tate gave the space enough there.
And he's lost another place as well. Yeah, and now having a...
It's not giving space to Super Striker there on the outside of turn 8. Either there, that's getting a bit aggressive there, the Williams driver. Gonna have to be a bit careful with that in the future, or there'll be a few reports going to the stewards.
4 laps to go, ladies and gents. And it's been an absolute cracking race up to now, and it's going to be between, by the looks of things, Ginge and Sticky Panda if they can keep all 4 wheels between the white lines and not get themselves a time penalty as well. Just remember that Matthew is one of the reserve drivers this evening and will be pulled out at the end of the race. Sticky Panda needs to gain another half a second to have a chance to get DRS on Ginge, and of course Chuck is not going to want to give up places, hoping that Sticky Panda and Ginge get themselves time penalties as well.
Yeah, but looking on board now, Chuck manages to get within that gap of Matthew here, and this is what he's going to be needing. He's going to need to try and get past Matthew as quick as possible, and he's going to have the grip that he needs now, because this is going to be starting to go into the medium tyre territory, and this is exactly what he's going to be wanting, is soft tyres to wear away.
Sticky Panda with a 3-second time penalty on the exit of the first corner, the louder curve, and now his chances of getting a race win today might be all but
Super
over.
Striker off the track. Super Striker right off the track there, and I think that may have been battling with Tate there.
The one thing that is making it slightly easier for us, Lee, the majority of the field that has time penalties have 3 seconds. There's only 2 with 6 seconds.
What was that? You cut out.
Oh, sorry. There's only 2 drivers that have 6-second time penalties. Everyone else has 3 seconds. So that will make it interesting. Is Matthew has fallen down into 3rd place here for some reason, and now
Matthew
has a 3-second time penalty as well. Are we going to finish today with everyone having a 3-second time penalty? Lee, with 3 laps to go, how many warnings does Ginge have?
On it.
He's 1.2 seconds behind Chuck. Chuck has got to get the next 2.5 laps down to a fine art, as Ginge has got not a single warning to his name. He's going to have the worst final 2.5 laps he's had all day, including qualifying, to not win this race now. It is in the palm of his hand, and it's only him that can drop the ball now at this point.
Yeah, we've got Paul and Choco there screaming on for Chuck to get this win. He's got to pull another 1.5 seconds gap on Ginge behind it. And if this is coming into the medium tyre territory, this is the perfect time to absolutely book it now and pull away. Well, if he's going to be able to do that or not. But Matthew is right on the tail of Ginge, and could this end up proving to be a bit of a interesting one from the end?
Yeah, well, Matthew, of course, if he gets involved with this, which he is doing, that could help Chuck try and get even further into the distance, as Sticky Panda goes into the rear of Ginge as well, and Matthew has created a buffer between him and Chuck. His Sticky Panda's going for it here. Oh! And then he collects Ginge, and I think that was Ginge not leaving the room on the outside where Sticky Panda wanted to go here. He's fallen down another place. This could now have actually swung in favour of Chuck with a lap and a half to go. We'll have to go to the leader interval. It's 2.9 seconds between Chuck and Ginge. 2.8. This is going to be very close on to the last lap. But Sticky Panda and Matthew might have ruined Ginge's day here, as it's now over that 3-second margin, as Chuckle is cheering his brother on in the chat here. It's all going to plan as we go on to the final lap of the race. It's still around that 3-second margin, as RSI Markey now going for an overtake and putting more space between him, between Ginge and Chuck here. And Ginge knows it as well. He's not going to give up the position, but this is all costing him valuable time. 2.8 seconds. He's still in the lead of the race as we come to the end, but RSI Markey again going up the inside of Ginge here. He's not put a foot wrong today. He's not gone off the track once and got himself a warning or a penalty. Back into 4th place. 3.2 seconds between him and Chuck as we come up to the final 2 corners. Is the win going to go to Chuck? Is it going to go to Ginge? Is it going to be RB's day or McLaren's day as we go into the final corner here? 3.2 seconds separate 1st and 4th place. Chuck crosses the line and wins as he slowed down, and Ginge takes the win into the final corner, or after the final corner. And Chuck somehow lifted off the throttle and gifted Ginge the win by 0.6 of a second. And I am sure Chuckle is going to go ballistic.
I'm speechless at that, to be honest.
He must have lifted off at the end. I'm going to have a look back.
He did. He lifted off near the end.
Let's have a proper analysis of this here. Yeah, he did. He slowed up.
Oh.
As Chuckle says, am I missing something here? M. Harry from the Red Hours Racing says, fixed. Interesting. Anyway, we'll get Lee to do the final rundown. That was a very interesting end to the race.
Yeah, it was just that ending there taking me back about 20 years to Ferrari days. Yeah, that was a very controversial moment in Formula 1, I will say. But there it appears that Ginge managed to get the win there. Chuck having that penalty and slowing down near the end. So, yeah, he comes home in second. Then we had Matthew, the reserve, in third. Sticky Panda fourth. Then we had Marky, the other reserve, in fifth. Then we had Danny sixth. Mopar seventh. Prof in eighth. Ninth was Tiny. Then we had Super Striker in 10th. 11th was Tate. Then we had that guy Sean in 12th. 13th Royal Rumble. Koyx Gamer in 14th. 15th was Arg. And Perrin Bowden was 16th. The ones who did not finish the Grand Prix were Aki and Lee.
Well, that was a dramatic finish of the race. It was an actually fantastic race, all through qualifying and the race as well. The whole event was brilliant. It always throws up brilliant racing in Austria. You know, we should not be surprised. Everything all right?
Yeah, sorry, I just seen a comment there from Chuckle says I'll be having words.
So Chuckle not very happy with his brother there as he was cheering him on. Yeah, Chuck did the equivalent there of being the Euro finals and winning 2-1. And then the goalie sticks it in the back of his own net twice in the last 2 minutes. Very, very strange indeed. Anyway, thank you very much. We'll have a quick look at the calendar. We already spoke about it a bit earlier, but we'll have another quick look back. It's going to be Monza next week for the Italian Grand Prix. And as I said, you've got a really good lineup of races. Even Spain, Lee. We forget about Spain, but Spain's really good these days with the track changes. It's a lot better than it used to be. So you've got Monza, Brazil, Bahrain, then Spain after that. Really good. A really good fixture list of tracks there for the next few races. So hopefully we'll join you. Go on, go for it.
It's a quick question. Driver of the day?
I forgot, should I say. Driver of the day. I'm going to give it to Chuck.
I was thinking the same.
Yeah, let's give it to Chuck. Even though I don't know if he's just been sporting there and didn't want to. I don't know why he wouldn't be. We'll give it to Chuck. But anyway, as you can see, next week we'll be in Monza for the 5th round of the season, halfway through the season at that point as well. It's been fantastic, you guys watching. We've had a constant viewership of about 11 to 15 viewers throughout, and over 50 people have watched the stream throughout tonight. So Thursday's getting a lot more popular this season. It's lovely to see. So keep subscribing to the channel. Let's get to 400 subscribers before the end of season 16. That would be brilliant. Until next week, though, when we're back again, me and Lee again. Thanks very much for watching. It's goodbye from me and from Lee.
Peace out.